Rhythm of Life is a song I wrote with Michael Omartian, who I mentioned before. Michael played piano on Don't Mean Nothing, and Michael was a very successful record producer, especially in the 80s. And I was a fan of his work, and we got together in LA and we wrote this song during the making of my album. I think the original idea was maybe Michael would produce it, but he was way too busy to take time to produce some up-and-coming artist. So I produced it with my friend David Cole, and I think it's got some amazing guitar work on it, typical of Mike Landau, who's probably the single most important ingredient to my first two albums. Mike Landau, who I talked about a lot in this commentary about the first album, he was just so generous and there for me, and played on my demos for free, wouldn't take money. I just can't say enough about him. He's a genius to this day, and I worked with him again recently after all these years, and he's still a badass. He's maybe even more of a badass. Very, very respected guitar player, brilliant musician. So I love what he's playing on Rhythm of Life, and what was really fun about this track is that I think it was the last song we recorded for the album, and I had a bunch of people come in, friends of mine, and there's sort of like at the end of the song there's this chant. Everybody's saying, "Get lost in the rhythm of life." So we just set up these risers in the studio, and I had a bunch of my friends and the musicians' wives and girlfriends came in, and probably like 25 people or something like that, and my parents and Cynthia, and it was really, really fun day, and everybody just piled into the studio and sang along, and again, it became a really important song in my live show because it was a fun, up-tempo groove song, and we played it every night for 3 years, I think, or something like that. So I remember there was talk about it maybe being a single. I never thought it should be a single, but I always loved that we had such a fun track on the record, and especially almost to close out the record.